Alright, so before we get into Fairy Tale, as I'm sure you'll be able to guess, we are recording this separately for schedule issues. So if you're watching this and you also listen to our Toriko, Bleach, One Piece reviews, they will also be recorded separately this week. But once again, don't worry, this is not going to be a weekly thing. This is only for when our schedules kind of clash in a bad way. So, it can't be helped. Work is work, and school is school. So, anyway, let's get into the review here. So, I fucking called it, right? If you'll recall back in whatever chapter it was, I stated that it was more likely that he was just going undercover and looking for the Book of End, because that was his goal. And it turns out I was right. So I guess we'll start with 429. Though I don't know if I'll give it a chapter rating for each. I may just do a combined chapter because that's obviously how Mashima wanted them judged, I guess. Hence why he put them together. So the main thing in 429 was the fact that Lucy was going to get tortured, and Gray saved her. I mean, that's literally what happened in that chapter. Holy fuck, Shokugeki no Soma is a bunch of views. Um, sorry. Um, so basically, of course, there was some fan service, especially for those of you who like feet. Just saying. Um, and the whole maid thing and this whole torture thing. You know, what was gonna happen there? And there's a funny thing. He was like, licking feet was one of the torture options, and Natsu picks that one. But of course, it's not what it seems. Of course, Mashimo, with his misdirection, he was implying that he was going to be the one licking their feet, but it was actually a goat after dipping them in salt, um, in which their tongue would erode their feet away basically and tear through like the skin, which sounds very painful and very slow. So that's obviously what it seems like he was going to opt for until X point where he basically stretches Lucy out and is about to cut her in half. Wow, when Gray does his Sub-Zero attack from Silver, which I thought was really cool because, Silver is Silver, and the fact that Gray was able to seemingly casually do that uh, at this point to an Avatar member was kind of cool. And we do find out that he's undercover, and it was orchestrated by him and none other than Erza. So, plots that keeping the plot moving. So we have, I guess 429 it was an okay chapter, just simply because there wasn't much progression, but the end kind of made it better. And then what is it, 430? Yeah, 430. They basically explain everything, and they're like, I didn't mean what I said back there, and I was just cosplaying as Sasukeisen. I'm not really Sasukeisen. I'm just Gray. Um, so you forgive me and shit, and they're like, yep. And one of the probably the best line there was the fact that Lucy was like, I still hit you, and then Gray was like, yeah, but maid hitting me, ha ha ha. I'm like, really? You're thinking about that now, Gray? That's why I ship Gray X Lucy. Just saying. No, I'm just kidding. I do though, sort of. Um, so the four of them are gonna meet up, and before then, I have to mention, of course, the fact that Gray and Erza were in cahoots with the whole not telling Juvia what he was doing. So, and the whole, saying shit about friends and stuff. So I was like, you can't even criticize Gray, because if you do, you're criticizing Erza, and you can't criticize Platza because she'll fuck you up, Sonny. So, um, so basically, we find out there's a much larger group in Avatar. So there's how the fuck did they get so many Zeref worshippers? Like, are there that many evil people in the world? I don't know. Um, so they're not very smart. Let me tell you that much, because they should be fairy tale worshippers after all the bullshit they've been through, right? Like, there's only one thing we believe in, is Nakama power, because it wins over everything. So, um, so then, of course, the army gets stopped by Natsu, Gray, and Lucy, and we see another form from Lucy, which is the Taurus, and I think she'll have enhanced strength here, but that's what I was saying the first time when we first saw this magic, but we'll see what happens. And of course, Erza from behind starts wrecking them. They're like, "Oh, the army has come." They're like, "Nah, it's just one person." But where the fuck is Gagio? Is Gagio like, is he still at the base? Like, I'm gonna fuck him, Greg. What do you mean he's gone? You guys just fucking left me? Damn you! I don't know. Gagio and Levy, are they just sitting there like waiting for something to happen? It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. I don't know. So that's where it ends up. And of course, before then, the four of them say, I'm fired up, whatever. I have no real complaints about it, but I don't really see it as anything real good. I do kind of like that Gray's back, because it does progress the plot a bit, and it does kind of shy away from this whole cliche thing that Gray was turning into. But he was rocking it, so that's not too bad. So yeah, this chapter overall, these chapters. Well, I guess I'll do 430, since I did in fact say 420. 430 was good, I thought, because of the fact that we got a lot of exposition, and we got explanations for everything, and um, of course we had a lot of progression in 430. 429 was not much progression, which is why I think Mashima realized that he needed to get 429 out of the way before he could do 430. So I think that's why he released both chapters at the same time. And it makes sense, because we got a lot of progression over the course of the two chapters. We literally went, for the two chapters, we went from them being in jail, like first put in jail, to them beating the shit out of Avatar in a completely different location, meeting up with Erza. And we still don't know what happened to Gajil and Levy. So yeah, the two chapters in conjunction do a lot of progression. There was not much development in terms of characters, but it was fine. But it does, of course, reveal shit about Gray, and I don't know what else to say. There's the story progression was obviously there, like I said before, and it was okay. So, like, things are going faster than we expected they would go. So I do like that, because I do want this to kind of end, because I just want to see Laxus at this point. I just want to get Laxus back and have him be the new master, and get on with the final arc and shit. I'm serious. I don't think Mashima should drag this out very long before he goes into the final arc, because they're strong now. They're overpowered. So I don't know. There's got to be something soon. The wheels have to turn soon. It doesn't necessarily have to be after this arc, but it should be relatively soon. So that's it. Thank you all for listening, and hopefully you listen to Don's review as well, as I'm sure he goes into good depth and good detail. So thank you all for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
What the hell? Mashima. Like, what the hell? So, welcome you guys all to this week's Fairy Tail chapter review. Now, there are 2 chapters. This was a double chapter release. And this will be my portion of the review. Now, the first chapter that was released, chapter 2 or 429, basically was, you see the the punishment guy basically, trying to torture Natsu and Lucy into revealing who sent them, and, just when you think Lucy's gonna get hurt, cut in half, the guy gets frozen by Gray, who then reveals that, oh, I've been in control of myself the entire time, and this was only an infiltration mission. And you're like, what? I've been faking you this entire time? Like, it's a sense of rejoice because then we don't have to go through this whole Sasuke thing. Thank the fucking God that this is not going to be another Sasuke fiasco where you're going to spend the rest of the series going after Gray, trying to bring him back to the good side. Nope. That's finally got some, deviation from the Gray, or from deviation from Sasuke likeness, the Sasuke likeness in Gray. As for the, and then he gives Natsu magic cell phones. It's been 1 year and now they have cell phones. But, how does it work? There's no electricity. They don't have electricity. Oh, yes, they do. It's called magic. Like, really? They have magic. Magic is pretty much produced for, has replaced electricity in their world. I mean, they have electrical-based magic, but they use magic to substitute, like, they have lights. They have the, city lights, lamps, whatever. Oh, wait, that's magic. Oh, I think they also have some regular electricity, but the fact is that they have Gray has a friggin' cell phone. Like, really? Now, who's on the other side? It's Urza. And, lo and behold, Urza was given a mission to investigate Avatar by Jalal's group. And she came across Gray. And then Gray tasked Gray with infiltrating Avatar to learn some information. It was only originally intended to be a quick. They weren't sure. They weren't thinking it was going to last too long, so they weren't going to tell Juvia. But then things went awry, and now after they found out about the whole purification thing, and now they had to stay longer. So now we also learned that Gray went to, Porcelain, I think that's how it's pronounced, is to, get his mark checked out, and, after, whatever she did, he learned how to control its appearance, I guess. So now, so there's nothing to worry about. And instead of going off and, going to Juvia and being like, hey, you're okay, no, they decide to run after, Avatar, because now they're going to initiate their plan. Now, the thing that confused me the most is the fact that the Avatar members that were in that base left, and Godjill never stormed in. Like, okay, at the end of last chapter, Levi came in, exited, and was now in your safe hands, so why wait? Why didn't you just bust right in there and to break the shit up? Well, he answers that. The fact is that they can't take him out because there is they're just a branch. There are many, many others, and the only way to stop it was to wait for them to initiate their plan, which is to go to this obliterate this town in order to summon Zeref, because he's wherever death is, he follows. So, they, and they get there, and you see all the thousands of people that are ready to fight for, the sake of Avatar, and wipe out all these innocent people in order to do so, in order to get to Zareth. And as they charge, you're like, oh, there's a couple of people standing in our way. And they're like, oh, well, oh, and then, of course, this is, moving into the next chapter 430 about them. They gather up, they go to attack, and, they're like, oh, the people in the way. And then they're like, well, just kill them. We're killing people anyway, so why kill those as well? Well, those people there are taking out tons and tons of soldiers. Lo and behold, it's Natsu's group who somehow beat Avatar to the city. So this city or should I say town, shouldn't be very far because they got there before they had a chance to do anything to the town. Now they start just taking people out left and right. It was like, it's no joke. It's their fodder, even for Lucy, who's utilizing Taurus armor, or Taurus dress, I should say. Seemingly, I guess, getting a strength boost and using her whip. So it's going to be interesting to see what she can do with that. But like I said, most likely it's probably giving her a huge strength boost and with Natsu and Gray hinting at, oh, when this is all over, maybe we should spar. So that would be interesting. And then they're like, oh, well, let's, there's no reason to be afraid. We outnumber them. We should win. But then they're like, oh, well, we're getting attacked from behind. Like, what? And Urza, lo and behold, they think that when they get attacked from behind, they think it's the Magic Council and that they've caught up. Ergo, Gajil's group. But nope, it's just one woman on a horse, Urza, who's just annihilating their numbers from behind. So at this point, it's made pretty obvious that they're just gonna take out this army of fodder soldiers, leaving behind the 7 members of Tartarus and Gray's, not Tartarus, Avatar, since Gray's not a part of it. And lo and behold, 6, because the ones taken out was taken out by Gray earlier. So if there's 6 members left, and you got Natsu, Gray, that's 2, Lucy, that's 3, and then you got Urza, that's 4, and lo and behold, you'll have Levi and Gajil, that's 6. So we'll have so when they show up, we'll have our 6-on-6 fight. Each of them will get their own member to fight against, and bada bing, bada boom, the arc should finish. Now, I heard something about, this might, and so overall, that this might not be the last double chapter, and I don't know exactly how accurate that is. Who's to say it isn't? Just have to. But, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if that's the case and we're going to get more double chapters, it's not that big of a deal. Because it'll just make this arc go by so much faster if we get more double chapters like this. It's not going to make the arc any smaller. It's just going to happen faster because, we're going to be getting chapters sooner and sooner. So, now, what is, overall, the chapter, I think, is, good. I enjoyed it. But I mean, the only thing is I'm seriously glad that we're not going to have another, we're not going to continue with this whole parallel with Naruto and, whatnot. So, it's nice to know that it's not going to continue this way, and that this arc will undoubtedly we'll probably get down to the one-on-one fights probably starting next chapter, maybe the chapter after that, who knows. And lo and behold, it'll be interesting to see who fights who. So just can't wait for things to be. It's plenty of good shit going down, and I just really, really want to do this, get this done, because it, this arc, this whole thing with avatars, starting to drag on a little too long, and I would like for to move on with recruiting the remaining members. So it, getting the other members back and whatnot. So it'll be hopefully this won't last too long. So unlike this review, which seems to be dragging on forever. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed my portion, and if you haven't already watched Strider's portion, go watch it. And see you guys next week.